Oh, really? No.
Do it.
No.
Let's do it. Ridiculous.
I'm wondering where we're going with this.
How do other musicians even talk to you? Why are we in black?
What kind of show is this?
You're totally inspiring.
I got hotel keys in every pocket.
This was a Beachcombers episode. You ripped this off.
You are watching Stripped Down. You are watching Stripped Down, Saskatchewan's only one-hour local music showcase, the award-winning show that brings the venue to you in the comfort of your own living room. I am your host, Curtis Anderson. I'm not going to waste any more time. We're doing things a little bit differently tonight. You'll notice a few changes on the Stripped Down set. And ladies and gentlemen, tonight on Stripped Down, Quadrant Kahn.
Colors are fading and altered to white. Colors are fading and altered to white. Colors are fading and altered to white. Distraction of oceans who's to blame. And the heat of the sun burned everyone. By two, rose by two, rose by two. The creatures are spoken, homes have been broken. Who cares? Who cares? Who cares? Well, I do. The colors are faded and altered to white. A horrible sight, and we're all jaded. The eldest alive, and we're all blinded by blue, by blue, by blue, and we're screwed. The whales on the beaches, and they can't teach us the truth, the truth, the truth can be saved. A delicate balance will all turn to white. A horrible sight, and we're all jaded. Distraction of oceans, and who's to blame? The heat of the sun burned everywhere. The creatures are smoking, homes have been broken.
You're watching Strip Down. We're spending 60 minutes with Quadrant Kahn. Last seen on Strip Down 50-some episodes ago, and it's not often I make the same mistake twice, but I remember the first time I booked you, I thought, okay, with your setup, probably not a lot for our shooters to shoot. So we put you in a tattoo parlor while I got the Strip Down logo tattooed on my thigh during the 60 minutes, and then I was blown away by how epic your live presence was. And then we wanted you back on the show, and I completely forgot and was like, oh yeah, you know, he's only got his little setup. He's not that animated, so we got to maybe readjust the Strip Down set a little bit.
Stuck me in a spaceship. It's fantastic.
It
It's
looks amazing.
very
We wanted to give you another kind of special show.
Thank you.
How have you been, man?
I've been good.
It's been a couple years since you've been on Strip Down.
It has. Things have been busy. Things have been very good. Actually.
Again, I forgot how intense your presence is when you're performing. So really, once again, we probably didn't need to do all this. You still would have stolen the show with the regular set, but it's still props to Jay Neufeld. We were in here setting everything up today, finding a 106th way to set up the panels and everything.
I love it.
It's all for you, man. It's all for Quadrant Kahn back on Strip Down. Not another tattoo tonight. That was the first question somebody asked me. Are you getting another tattoo? No. Been there, done that.
Yes.
Let's talk about you. The last 2 years.
Last 2 years, I have been writing and writing and writing and writing. Last time I had an album.
Yep.
I did have an album, and I stopped. Right away, I'll be going back into the studio to do another album. The tail end of last year, I went on a tour, 15-date tour with the band We Were Lovers.
Yep.
Right in the summer of 2010, I did a remix for them that ended up on their EP. So then we just toured with that EP to Montreal and back, and yeah, things have been good. So that was kind of the fall, and then coming up right away, there's another tour. So.
We'll talk about the tour a little later, because I don't know where you went with We Were Lovers, but I'm guessing it's not exactly where you're going next.
No.
Where did you tour with We Were Lovers?
Where did we go?
Yeah.
We went pretty much from here to every major city up to Montreal. So London, Hamilton, Toronto, Montreal. We did the circuit, and it was amazing. It was really cool to kind of. It was my first tour, so it was and with an actual indie band, as opposed to a DJ or electronic artist. So it was quite.
Well, they're kind of going, putting it all that. Yeah, that you know where I'm going with
Yeah,
that.
they are. It's
Someone say something.
It goes together.
Yeah.
They do, and right now they are hand in hand. It's interesting though to bring this show in a tour like that, because I still get the same reaction every time. People don't really know how to process it. They don't know where it fits. It's indie, it's electronica, it's intense, there's industrial, there's, you know.
It's like world.
Yeah, there's world, yeah, it's kind of everywhere. There's tambourines now.
That's actually what I want to start with, because I never asked you last time. I mean, I ask so many musicians that, you know, sound like Coldplay or U2. Where'd you get your influences from? I don't ask this guy that question, who has music that nobody in Saskatoon has heard before.
Oh, gosh. Well, you know, I grew up the past 12 years playing, DJing hard techno. That was kind of my forte. I also have a love for Middle Eastern, East Indian, classical music, but also East Indian electronic music. Like, there's a whole genre of it that's just stunning. So that's how I kind of combine the two together. And then, you know, back in the day, we used to listen to industrial and old punk rock, and so I love making the intensity of all that together, but with some elements of it being kind of pretty and but energetic at the same time.
So you guys have a tour booked, and you're talking to these, you know, promoters and stuff. What do you say? How do you explain your sound to them? Or you just say, oh, I'm touring with your lovers, it's all good?
It's hard, because there's been times where I've been kind of, I play it cool, and I'm quite a quiet person, and I'm just kind of like, you know, I'm playing a show tonight, and, you know, and I hope you enjoy it, and talk to the promoter, and then they see me on stage, and it's like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. It's just like, it's completely different, and they never know what to expect. So when I try to explain to it, I said, you know, it's kind of indie, kind of electronic, kind of. In layman's terms, I just say it's indie electronica, but then that's such a broad spectrum. It could be anything. So, yeah, it's hard.
It's safe to say you're the only person locally with this sound. Definitely. So, how has Saskatoon treated this sound? How has it welcomed it?
It's awesome. And I love that about Saskatoon is that artists here, artists and listeners, anyone that appreciates music will soak it in. And it might not be their forte, but they'll at least appreciate what it is. Especially because I get billed with, when I play shows, I'm billed with rock bands, I'm billed with other DJs, I'm billed, it just, there's no other, I kind of get thrown into the mix. So you kind of get everyone that listens to it, and people here just soak it up like a sponge, and it's a really good feedback though. It's fantastic. It's great to see that support coming out of the Saskatoon music community that you don't really get to see that often. So
We take it for granted here, definitely.
Yeah.
It's a common theme with all musicians. Nobody seems to have beef with each other. If they do, they don't bring it to the show, which is
Well,
surprising.
exactly, which is
everybody
nice.
talks about how supportive the scene is, and I guess you probably have that too, right?
Yeah, it's cool.
I know you've done
and-
some collaborations. I don't know if we want to talk about that yet, but
Yeah, I mean, it was also neat though on the tour to meet other electronic artists that I would have no clue that they're doing kind of not exactly the same thing, but similar things, and it was just so neat to see that you're not alone in the world. You're not, there's other people that are trying to do it as well, and it's just such a neat global community nowadays, and especially with the way technology is, it's so easy to connect, and that's kind of how I got my next tour. So.
Quadrant Kahn, again, last time on Stripped Down was the summer 2009, playing live from a tattoo parlor. How is that episode going to differ from this episode, other than location? Like, has your sound evolved? You don't have a guitar anymore.
No guitar.
You had your guitar last time.
I've stripped down.
I stripped it down.
Isn't that funny? No, I decided last tour, and it was mainly because of the tour, I wanted to pare down all my songs. They're a bit more well structured. I think they're more structured, and with any evolution of songwriting, your songwriting gets a little bit more better as you go along, and so I found that I was writing more solid tracks, and I needed less things to play with music-wise.
Okay.
So I did lately bring back the guitar in some tracks, but it was nice to have that hiatus for a while and really pare it down and focus on kind of more minimal sound.
Well, let's get to another song, but first things first, kicked off the show with another, eyebrow-scorching track. I was just jaw-dropped watching you perform, going, right, this is what Quadrant Kahn brings to the table. I kind of forgot how intense it is. What was track one about?
It was called Jaded, and it's I have a love for the ocean and saltwater creatures, and as
we will talk about later.
Yes, and so this Jaded was about the dying oceans, and us as humans are killing it, and the corals are going white because of it, and without ocean creatures we won't survive, and so that was another homage to.
So you're unique, extremely talented, and you come with messages.
I come with
a total package. All right, where do we go next? Song number two.
Song number 2 is called "My Heart You Stole." It's quite self-explanatory. We'll just go into it.
All right, take it away.
Awesome.
Stars, my heart you stole. Next is my soul. And blame me. I'm a dreamer of skies. Wash ashore. you stole. Next is my soul, my heart you stole. Next is my soul. To be found, my feelings and yellow rob you of the things you stole, and to be found, leaving my heart you stole. This is my soul, my heart you stole. And this is my soul, my heart you stole. And this is my soul, my heart you stole. And this is my soul. Take me for a little ride. Let's go up north, south of our lives. Will you fly me up to your stars and my heart you stole? And next is my soul, and you'll be there. My feelings and yellow rob you of the things you stole, and you'll be there. But leaving my heart you stole. And this is my soul, my heart you stole. And this is my soul, my heart you stole. And this is my soul, my heart you stole. And this is my soul. And my heart you stole. And next is my soul, my heart you stole. And next is my heart you stole. And next is my soul, my heart you stole. And next is my soul. Be there. My feelings and yellow rob you of the things
You're watching Strip Down. We're spending 60 minutes with Quadrant Kahn, and I don't know if I say this too much or not enough, but the crew, director Jay Neufeld that puts the show together, like I was just watching the monitor, just mind blown that this morning this set just looked like normal Strip Down, and here we are 8 hours later, and it's actually giving me goosebumps how amazing this episode looks. Music's great, it looks great, the crew is on fire tonight. We have to gear up for our first commercial break because this is like the longest first segment we've ever done. But stick around, we got lots more with Quadrant Kahn coming up right after this.
The following sponsors are proud to support local community programming on Shaw. Mother's Music. (617 8th Street East, Saskatoon), on the web at mothersmusic.com. Ultimo Euromoto. (204 3rd Avenue South in downtown Saskatoon), 664-6640.
Stuff goes once it's flushed down the toilet. It travels down pipes under our streets to a sewage treatment plant. There it is cleaned up through a variety of processes before it is sent back out in our lakes or rivers. The problem occurs when people flush things down the toilet like makeup, cleaning supplies, and some pharmaceuticals that the sewage treatment plant can't clean up. They are dumped untreated into our waterways, which other people depend on for their drinking water. Some cities continue to dump their sewage untreated into our waterways, while others are using innovative thinking to reuse sewage byproducts as fertilizer. What can you do? Be sure to properly dispose of any chemicals or unused medicine at your city's hazardous waste disposal site. It's our turn to take care of this planet, and I think we can do a better job. What do you think?
And we're back. You're watching Strip Down. We're spending 60 minutes with local musician Quadrant Kahn, returning after 50-some episodes. How are you feeling tonight? Kind of a weird enclosure.
I'm feeling good. It's like a vortex of channeled energy.
Well, that's what we were going for.
Yeah, I feel like I could channel it into this thing, and the whole thing will shoot off into space at some point.
The big topic right now for you is the epic tour you've put together.
Epic tour that I didn't even put together. It just kind of fell on my lap.
Explain.
Well, I DJ as well, and I've been doing that for 12 years. And a friend of mine in Graz, Austria, her name's Lori J. Ward, and she is one of the co-founders of the Flavorite record label out there. And she comes and plays in Canada quite often, and she has been telling me for years to come out. She's been there for a while, and she said, come out and come play a show for us. And then I managed to hook up with a group of guys that run a series of club nights in Italy. And so it just happens that they really liked what I did, and they throw 2 nights a month, and they are bringing me out for 1 or 2 of their nights in 4 weeks, in end of March. So,
okay, so what part of the globe are you spanning here in the next little bit?
So now I'll be heading to Milan.
Okay.
And spending some time out there, and then so I have a date on March 26th in Milano, and then I head off to Vienna for April 1st to Vienna, and a place called the Camera Club out there, and then a smaller show in Graz on the 2nd, and then hopefully something later on that week. So yeah, small and sweet, but yeah,
So what's going through your head right now? It's kind of pretty major.
It's intense. I have to make myself legit now. So it's one of those things I've never had to do. I never had to, self-promote or get business cards made and promo packages and all that. So it's strange seeing yourself on ads going into magazines and going into it's very it's not what I'm used to. So
where's your head at in the way of like, are you going out there hoping to get noticed? Are you putting a lot on the line there? Or are you just kind of gonna go have a good time, come back? If something happens, or are you like gonna be pushing hard?
I'm gonna push hard. I'm gonna have a good time, of course. But I'm really wanting to break out into that kind of niche scenes out there, you know. I mean, I could, you know, it's neat because it's the world is so small now. You can kind of promote yourself anywhere, but you know, it'll be so nice to kind of push as hard as I can in Italy and in Austria and just kind of show what I do and bring some of Canada over there and some of Saskatchewan. And, you know, just that's the best thing about it is sharing what we have here and the music that is Saskatchewan made and taking it global. And a lot of people are doing that nowadays here, which is fantastic.
Awesome. Well, our first segment went really, really long, so let's jump to another song and maybe go to another commercial break to get caught back up. But where do we go next?
This one's a little bit more toned down. It's kind of one of the more mellow tracks I made. It's called The Feeling, and it's, again, kind of about me versus relationships with other people and kind of where we fit within the scheme of things. So.
All right. Quadrant Kahn.
Strangers go to the inside. Isn't sounds collide, and who will know what our future holds? What's carved inside? That is just life.
You're watching Strip Down. We're spending 60 minutes with Quadrant Kahn. We have to take our second commercial break. We got lots more Strip Down coming up right after this.
He's big, he's bold, he's a polar bear. And as much as we wouldn't want to run into him face to face, we also wouldn't want to see anything threaten his existence. Hard to believe an animal this big needs our help. But even though the polar bears live far away in the remote Arctic, we are having a negative impact on their lives. Our pollutants travel the oceans and atmosphere and enter their food chain. Plus, climate change is causing the ice they live on to melt earlier each spring. This makes it more difficult for the bears to catch their prey. If you're wondering how you can help, simple things like riding your bike, walking, or taking the bus instead of driving will do a lot for our environment and the polar bears. But that's just a start. If you go to hww.ca, you can learn more about polar bears and find ideas on how to help protect Canada's wildlife. That's hww.ca.
Ladies and gentlemen, Quadrant Kahn.
Lots of words. There's a telephone message, and I'm a bit concerned. We're just weakened by a lack of truth. There's a television message, and it's coming to get you. And it's coming to get you. There's a television message, and it's coming to get you. It's coming to get you. It's coming to get you. Like the ocean, we get washed up. There's a telephone message, and we just hang up. We're all sponges in a negative tide pool. There's a television message, and it's coming to get you. 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 There's a television message, and it's coming to get you. It's coming to get you. It's coming to get you. Words, there's a telephone message, and and I'm a bit concerned. We're just a weekend by a lack of truth. There's a television message, and it's coming to get you. 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 There's a television message, and it's coming to get you. It's coming to get you. It's coming to get you.
Once again, wow! Holy cow! We're spending 60 minutes with local singer-songwriter Quadrant Kahn. Now, we kind of went for the industrial, well, we used what we could here to give you a new set in the studio. However, if money was no object, I would have brought in like thousands of dollars worth of giant fish tanks and had you play in front of that. What's the connection between you and aquatic life?
Oh my gosh.
Big fan.
Big fan. I'm a huge ocean nerd. Huge. Like, it's sickening. I run a big saltwater tank at home.
Yeah.
I write music about corals and fish. Recently, I've been doing this coral art. That's right up. It's just being displayed right now at the Spadina Freehouse.
Really?
Kind of taking coral skeletons and arranging them into, it's kind of like arranging flowers, but dead skeletons. And, yeah, it's fitting for being in a cage here.
It's true.
To have some cryptic talk and.
I find that and flowers interchangeable. So.
yeah, I suppose.
Yeah. Valentine's Day is fun around the Anderson house. Continue.
And yeah, and then earlier before that, I collaborated with another friend, and we kind of did a choral installation at the IKEA gallery, and kind of giving the awareness to people about the oceans and it's dying, and we got to do something about it, and because these creatures are so beautiful and so amazing, and they don't even look like anything, like they're stunning, and so it's neat. It's neat to use music as a channel to kind of tell people about it and kind of tell your story. And
so what do we do? Is there like a website or something, or
yeah,
like where can people get more information?
If you want to get more information in general on kind of ocean nerdy things,
okay.
ReefCentral.com is a really good site to kind of give you a whole ton of info about the hobby, about where it's going, about ways to kind of conserve the ocean, how to aquaculture corals in your own tanks, and then from there, there's a bunch of other sites, Reef Builders, a bunch of other sites that kind of show innovative ways on kind of not only keeping the hobby alive, but a way to sustain the animals in our tanks without, I mean, for the most part, without destroying the ocean, and being able to teach people about it. So.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's pretty cool.
You got a purpose. That's amazing.
Yeah.
What's the hardest thing about what you do? Again, our crew tonight just getting insane, awesome close-ups of you tweaking knobs and stuff. I mean, you sit down and you want to write a song, and I'm sure most people pick out, 4 or 5 chords, and they kind of go from there and start to build it. Where do you even start with
surprisingly,
this?
that's exactly what I do.
Really?
I do. A lot of my songs came from me playing acoustic guitar. And it's taking a few chords and matching the chords to the keyboard and going from there. And then what I'll do is I'll take a lot of electronic drums and sift through a bunch of kind of Indian-based drums and drum kits, and then program my drums first. But it's always about 80% of my tracks always started with guitar, because that's my roots. I started playing since I was 12. I'm by all means not the greatest guitarist, but at least I have it there as kind of my crutch.
During the commercial break, you're having a good episode when, during the commercial break, the crew are asking you how they can see you around Saskatoon, where you're performing. Awesome. You call, what is it, 612 Lounge kind of home?
Yeah, I do.
Now?
On the weekends, I DJ there. So I do a lot of kind of, again, like the East Indian down-tempo and electronic music. It's a really cool place to hear like just a wide span of electronic music. So I play Friday and Saturday nights there. That's my main gig at the moment. And then depending the odd show at Amigos and odd show at Lydia's or whoever. So.
What's the best place in Saskatoon? Like, what's the highlight so far since you started doing this?
Oh gosh.
I mean, obviously you're gonna say 612 because they're the current employer. But past that, like, what are some of the shows that? Because I mean, I could just imagine people, you taking the stage and people thinking they know what's going to come.
Yeah.
And then you blister into your first song and just shatters everything.
The best are the Amigos gigs because
Yep.
it is the rock bar, and it's awesome. Like it's the indie rock bar, and you go up on stage. And I remember my very first show. I can't even remember with who. Oh my gosh, it's drawing a blank. And by my very first show, no one kind of knew anything, and they just seeing everyone's faces for the first time, and even now, like seeing people that they just don't expect it.
Fantastic. All right, I'm getting the cue again, so we're gonna go to our last commercial break.
Yep.
We got a couple more songs, so we are going to wrap things up with Quadrant Kahn coming up right after this.
The following sponsors are proud to support local community programming on Shaw. Mother's Music. .617 8th Street East, Saskatoon, on the web at mothersmusic.com. Ultimo Euromoto. .204 3rd Avenue South in downtown Saskatoon, 664-6640.
Ladies and gentlemen, Quadrant Kahn.
Rescue me from myself. Now rescue me. Let me be by myself. Now rescue me. The best of you was no how to test me, possess me. The best of me was my girl. Now rescue me. And well, fools, come now. And well, fools, come on. Rescue me, drown me, hell, confess it to me. Let me see your eyes and show you what suppression and disease is doing the better. The best of me was mine. Still, confess it to me. The best of me was yours. All I made. And well, You're 2 years too late, 2 years too late. You're 2 years too late, 2 years too late. You're 2 years too late, 2 years too late.
We are wrapping things up with Quadrant Kahn here in the Shaw TV studios tonight. Sir, you came back 50-some episodes later. Yeah, it is a night to slap the hands together like that, let me tell you. The first time we had you on the show, Jay Neufeld rigged up a tattoo parlor, blacked out all the windows, just made a brand new set. I got a tattoo on my thigh of the Dancing Girl Stripped Down logo. You blistered through a set. This time we brought you back. Once again, Jay Neufeld rearranging everything, making it work. Compare first episode and second episode of Stripped Down.
My gosh, the first one was actually a bit more nerve-wracking. This one, you know, I feel more in my element. Maybe it's the spaceship. Maybe it's the environment. Maybe it's you.
Maybe it's a combination of them all. We'll just do that again. It's kind of like We Were Lovers, natural progression, like we talked about over the top. I love using inside jokes we used off the top of the show. If people weren't watching before, they're like, what is he talking about? Or they may just say that all the time every time I open my mouth. Regardless, let's talk really quick. Current CD situation. Last time you were on the show, one was just out.
One was just out. Toured with that, and then the recent thing was with We Were Lovers. I did the track for them. When I get back from this Italy and Austrian tour, I am going to go back in the studio and write pretty much all the handful of the tracks that I've been writing, because none of them are recorded. So I need to get back in the studio and have something solid. But it's weird because with the DJing, it's either one or the other. The DJing's really crazy, and then I have to put this on the back burner, or else vice versa. So it's hard to find that balance.
So you just stay awake for a week? And
It makes it for a lot of no sleep. So
and once again, recap the tour. Where are you headed?
I'm off to Milan, Italy, and then Vienna and Graz, Austria for 3.5 weeks. So Quadrant Kahn taking.
What kind of doors could that possibly open? I want to throw you on the spot here.
Oh gosh!
Who can notice you out there? I mean, what's the end game, the goal for Quadrant Kahn?
I would love
you want to play under the water, don't you? At some point, or like you want to get out of Saskatoon and go to move to some of these places.
I would.
Or?
In the future, I would. I would love to bring expand elsewhere. For the time being, I'm hoping out of this tour to kind of get something regular out there. Being able to kind of go, if anything, just go out and play for new ears and new people that, especially in Europe, where the music scene is a little bit more advanced than here. So, I mean, it's nice to kind of be a part of that itself. So,
what's the next step locally after the CD comes out? Are we getting too far ahead of ourselves? I mean, you always have a story. You did
there's always something on the go.
With Volcanoes in Canada, you're collaborating with We Were Lovers.
Yeah.
I mean, you seem like someone that's just got this amazing amount of cred. That other artists want to work with you. I'm serious.
I would. It's funny because I would love to work with a ton of artists here, and if I was approached by them, I would be more than happy to. So I would like to do more collaborations. Actually pool in the electronic indie people in the city, because it's still quite scattered, and it'd be nice. Be nice to kind of pull everyone together and see what everyone's doing and kind of go forth that way.
For more information, or for all information, if people want to get a hold of you, find out where you're going, find out how the tour is going, where do they go?
New website is being up. It's going to be up right away. It is up. www.quadrantkahn.com. You can email me at shmon@quadrantkahn.com as well for any inquiries. Or find me on YouTube. I have a YouTube channel. So,
all right, last question. Next time you come on, what are we going to do? Our Quadrant Kahn episodes kind of have a life of their own. They're like our Halloween episodes and our Christmas episodes. It's like each one has to get better. No matter how much sleep I lose or how much blood, sweat, and tears I shed trying to make those episodes better, where do we go?
We're going to do Quadrant Kahn Under the Sea.
Under the Sea?
Yeah, I think I might have to be next, if anything.
I was thinking about that. Would that be bad for the fish, though, to put a whole bunch of fish tanks around like these this beat? Would that be bad for the fish?
You could sedate them. As
a fish lover right here, we'll just get giant tanks of sedated fish to groove to
that's great.
That's music. All right, thank you so much tonight, man. Right before you play us out, I got to say goodbye. Got to thank the sponsors, Ultimo Euromoda, Mother's Music, and Mr. Sicily Pizza for all things Stripped Down. Facebook, Stripped Down, hit like. Get your friends and family to hit like. Just like. There it is. Thanks for watching tonight. And yeah, I'm really excited for the last time tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, Quadrant Kahn. Thank you.
Stepping stone to the one I know. Let's take it slow. Let's take it slow. Down to the water where the oceans breathe. I'll meet you there just to be there. I'm like a brother, and I could love her. I'm broken hearts right from the start. 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 I've broken my heart. A singing bow to the ones I know. I did it for sure. For sure. I'm like a brother, more like a stalker. I'll be there for you right from the start. I've broken hearts right from the start. And I've broken hearts right from the start. And I've broken hearts right from the start. And I've broken my heart.
His interviewing style is not the best. His personal appearance is not the best.
We have an epic episode of Strip Down for you this week. We've torn it all down and built it up from scratch. And ladies and gentlemen, this week on Strip Down, it's Quadrant Kahn.
Take it slow down to the water where the oceans meet, and I'll meet you there just to be there. I'm like a brother.